Hello everyone, welcome to Start the Conversation. My name is Bryn. I am wearing a plaid yellow shirt. I am wearing a black cardigan, these cheetah rimmed glasses, and a black headscarf. And I am up against this aqua bluish background. My pronouns are she, they. I identify as neurodivergent, biracial, I'm half black and half white. I identify as queer, and transfeminine, non-binary. In our last video, we explored the question, what are my pronouns? And talked about pronouns and gender. What do you think of when you hear the word gender? Thank you for sharing. Gender is a feeling. It's something you feel deep down inside yourself. Some people might feel like boys, some people might feel like girls, some people might feel as though they're somewhere in between or outside of a boy or a girl like me. We're going to talk about gender in lots of different ways. What about pronouns? Do you remember what pronouns are? You got it. Pronouns are words that we use to talk about someone when we don't use their name. Pronouns replace names and express our gender most of the time. Some pronouns that people use are she, he, they, ze, they, zer, to name a few. Today we are going to learn two new words, non-binary and gender spectrum. And we are going to explore the question, what can gender be? Let's start with non-binary. Non-binary is actually made up of two words. Let's start with binary first. Bi means two and has to do with two genders, boy and girl. The binary thinks that there are only two genders, boy and girl. But we know that that's not true because some people feel like boys, some people feel like girls, and some people feel somewhere in between or outside of a boy or a girl. Now, non means no. So non-binary means that you aren't part of the binary and that you fall somewhere outside of or in between boy and girl. So instead of a gender binary, boy and girl, we have a gender spectrum. And a gender spectrum includes boys, girls, and non-binary people. It's kind of like the color spectrum. You have black and white, but in the middle there are all different colors. And the gender binary has boy and girl, but there are all these colors in the middle, all these genders, and all this space outside for other genders. I have a book to share with you today to help us explore what gender can be. It's called From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. It's written by Kai-Cheng Tam and illustrated by Wei-Yant Li and Kai-Yun Ching. Well, first we will read, and then we will play a little game to help us explore. Let's get started. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. Once upon a time, in a little blue house on a hill on the edge of town, a baby was born. They were born when both the moon and the sun were in the sky, so the baby couldn't decide what to be. Boy or girl, bird or fish, cat or rabbit, tree or star. So the baby looked a little like everything. They looked very strange. All the same, the baby's mother gave her child a bath and rocked them in her arms. Your name, she said, is Miu Lan. And she sang a song that her own mother had sung to her long ago. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high. And I'll always be here, I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die. And even though they still couldn't decide, the baby felt loved. Miu Lan grew up to be a strange, magical child who was always changing. They grew feathers and wings to fly with bluebirds in the mornings, scales and a tail to swim with fish in the afternoons, and fur and paws to play with puppies in the evenings. No matter how many things Miu Lan became, their mother always brought them back into the little blue house, gave them a bath, and tucked them into bed at the day's end. As the stars rose, she sang, "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be," from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. And Miu Lan felt loved. One day, it was time for the child to go to school. They were so excited. They grew a tail of peacock feathers and a coat of tiger stripes. "Have fun," said Miu Lan's mother. But when they got to the school, the other students were either boys or girls. They had no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, not even any sparkles. No one invited Miu Lan to play. One little boy ran up to the child and asked, "What are you supposed to be?" Miu Lan didn't know how to answer. When they came home, their mother asked them how they'd liked school. "It's okay," said Miu Lan. "Did you make any friends?" "Not really," said Miu Lan. That night, Miu Lan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "You can crawl like a crab, or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here, I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die." And Miu Lan felt loved, but also worried. The next day, they wore a turtle shell and porcupine spines. No one pulled or poked Miu Lan, but the other children still pointed and whispered. "Did you make any friends today?" asked their mother. "Not really," said Miu Lan. That night, Miu Lan's mother tucked them into bed and sang, "Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be," from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. And Miu Lan felt loved, but they also felt sad. The next day, Miu Lan wore no feathers, no scales, no leaves, no fur, no fins, no shells, no spines, not even any sparkles. Miu Lan was invited to play baseball with the boys. No one pointed, whispered, laughed, or stared. But when Miu Lan joined the little girls playing hopscotch, "Boys don't play hopscotch," said a little girl. "Are you a boy or a girl, anyway?" asked a little boy. "Didn't you have a shell the other day?" asked a little girl. "And feathers the day before?" "What are you supposed to be?" said several children at once. "I don't know," Miu Lan shouted, and galloped out of the playground on horse's hooves, swam through the stream with a fish's tail, and soared up on the hill on eagle's wings. "How was school?" asked Miu Lan's mother. "I wore feathers and stripes so that the other kids would think I was beautiful, but they thought I was weird, and then I wore a shell and spines so that no one would pull or poke me, but they wouldn't talk to me, and then I tried to be just like everyone else, but I haven't made any friends. I can't decide what to be. Why do I have to be just one thing?" "It isn't always easy to be different from everyone else," said their mother. "But you can only be who you are." "What if the other children don't like who I am?" sniffled Miu Lan. Their mother smiled sadly. I don't know, she admitted. But I do know this. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be. From the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. And Mulan felt loved. That night, they slept a deep sleep. The next day, Mulan wore fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and many sparkles that glittered like stars. For a moment, none of the other children spoke. Then a little girl said, "You can fly? That's so cool." "I like your sparkles," said a little boy. "I'm sorry I pulled your feathers," said the boy with red hair. "I was a little jealous of them." Mulan asked, "Does anyone want to play with me?" They showed the other children how to gallop like horses, climb like monkeys, and swim like fish. It was fun to be many different things. And the child of fur, feathers, scales, leaves, and sparkles, who was neither boy nor girl, but many things and always changing, felt happy. In the little blue house on the hill on the edge of town, Mulan's mother smiled and sang the song her mother had sung to her once upon a time. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, from the stars in the sky to the fish in the sea. You can crawl like a crab or with feathers fly high, and I'll always be here. I'll be near, standing by. And you know that I'll love you till the day that I die. Whatever you dream of, I believe you can be, for you are my child, courageous and free. The end. I have a question for you. How did this book make you feel? How do you feel right now? So I'd love for you to take a pose and share how you're feeling. So make any pose you want that relates to how you're feeling about this book. So I'm going to do one with you. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. This book was really exciting for me to read. I especially love Mulan's mother and how much unconditional love, what that means is love that never goes away, that no matter what happens, their mother loves them. How much unconditional love Mulan's mom shows for Mulan is inspiring and really exciting. And there's so much acceptance of anything that Mulan wants to do, anything that Mulan wants to become, any identity Mulan wants to take on. Mulan's very lucky. I didn't grow up in a world with books like this. I never got to read a book like this until just now, actually. And it's really exciting. And it makes me very happy that books like this are out there, because it makes a difference when you're young and you get to see characters that look like you, that sound like you, that have the same kind of view of themselves as you do. Because otherwise, you end up feeling like Mulan, and you end up feeling sad, and you end up feeling different, and you end up feeling wrong, which is what I felt when I was younger. And it took me a very long time to learn how to be Mulan's mother for myself. Because when I grew up, moms and dads weren't really like this either. In fact, non-binary is pretty new. An acceptance of gender that goes outside boys and girls is also pretty new. It's been happening for a long time, but silently. So, thank you for letting me share this with you. So, let's go back to this Gender spectrum fun. Okay, you remember this from earlier? Good. So, would you like to know where I fall on this gender spectrum? Okay. So if you remember from earlier, my pronouns are she, they, which means that sometimes I feel like a girl, and sometimes I don't, and sometimes I agree with the gender binary, and sometimes I don't. And today, I'm definitely over here somewhere, but I am outside. Outside. Sometimes I'm off the page completely. Sometimes maybe in the middle, but that's where I am today. So why don't you, on a piece of paper, put down your gender spectrum and put girl over here and boy over here and color it any way you want to. You don't have to have every color here. You can have as many colors as you want to. They can be in any kind of order. They don't have to be in lines. They could be in blotches. They could be in anything, right? And then put yourself where you want to be today. And keep in mind, you don't have to stay there. You can be somewhere else tomorrow. That's how it works. Thank you so much for playing and exploring the gender spectrum with me today, and also for showing me where you fall on the gender spectrum today. And remember that wherever you placed yourself is perfect. If you want to keep this conversation going, you can head on over to our next video, and I will see you again soon.